Go find something to do.
And then what did you do? You went outside, you played out loud,
Felt
real loud, loud as you can. I am exchanging with energy. I am pretty good at what I do. I am successful. One more time. I am exchanging with energy.
Basically, all of the energy in your life.
Yes, exactly. Good.
How many have been to a conference or a success gathering more than once? Raise your hand. All right. Why is that? You keep going to all these success conferences and all these positive places. Why? Why do you go?
You want to be inspired.
For reinforcement, maybe, to be inspired. I remember coming to this workshop years ago, and when I left here, like today, I left on cloud 9. I remember walking down Fifth Avenue, and there was the Plaza Hotel. I felt so good after Dr. Mitchell's workshop. Then, about 2 or 3 weeks later, I couldn't feel anything. I went back down into the rut. Anybody has had that experience? Where you just, after a while, you lose that feeling? What I learned from my experience of losing $1 million, and it's okay, I got it back. But what I learned was, and I'm going to give you this one tip. Dr. Mitchell gives us all this information, this great information, all these tools and strategies. But then it's here, there's one tip that I said, this is it. Now on the back of this check, not on the front, but on the back, one key, one success, if you will, tip, strategy. That is on the back of the check, not on the front, but on the back. Write down, feeling absolute certainty. Feeling absolute certainty. Or, what I like to say, moving differently. You have to move differently. Or, physical communication. Physical communication. Throughout today, what we have to do as we're sitting here and listening is circle those things that you're going to do physically every day. We get all of these techniques, Dr. Mitchell gives us, all these techniques, but then a month from now you don't use them every day. It's getting that feeling of absolute certainty. That's what will change your life. You know, in your own life, when you felt down, something wasn't going very well, and then you put in absolute certainty, you knew it, you felt it, then the things came to you, didn't they? Mm-hmm. Yeah? If they did, raise your hand if you've had that experience. Say aye. Aye. My story. A few years ago, I was going through 8 crises in my life. 8 devastating crises, as Dr. Mitchell ran through some of them. I lost $1 million first. I had a real estate company up in Connecticut, Stamford, Connecticut, going great. And then I went into bankruptcy court. It was gone. The judge said, boom, your company is gone. My father died. My mother had a stroke. I had no money, no job, and I was bankrupt. And I owed the IRS $20,000. And then, my parents' home, where I was living, because there was no other place to go. Oh, and my now ex-wife threw me out.
Wow. I forgot that one.
So, and the house that I went to, the lawyers were trying to take the house. So I went to a clinical psychologist because at that time I said, I don't want to live anymore. You know, they always say the power, the universe, God only give you so much. I said, this is it. That's it. So I said to myself, as I was crying and yelling and screaming, lying on the floor, I said, no, that's it. And after about 20 minutes of pounding on the floor and crying and kicking around, my mother was in the bedroom. She was bedridden because she had a stroke. She must have thought I was going crazy. And I was yelling and screaming, and I said, power, universe, God, whatever, take me out of here or change my life right now. And I did it with so much energy. I was jumping around and banging on that. I know I must have looked crazy. I'm glad nobody was filming that. With all this energy. And I remember as I was rolling around and yelling, you do something now or take me out. And I don't want disease and all that. Take me out now. And then the phone rang. The phone rang. I got up, crawled over to the phone. And I yelled into the phone, what? And it was my relative, my aunt, saying, if you want to sell all your furniture in the house, I've got somebody who will buy this furniture. And I said, I have to do something? That's what I'm asking for, some help? Do something? And I have to do something? Call? I threw the phone across the room, thought about it for about a minute. I said, if I don't get up off this floor, I'm through. So I got up, called her back, took her back 20 minutes. Called her back, got the number, made the phone call. People came, bought some furniture. I had a little bit of money. And that was my first moving differently experience. I said, oh, I got a little bit of money. Now I can bury my father. This might work. Then somebody knocked on the door. Said, Mr. Ruff, yes, we're here to take your house. Now this was in the same day. We're here to take your house. I said, who are you? We're lawyers and we're here to take your house because we can do so and so forth. And they laughed. No questions. And they laughed. I went, well, I fell asleep right there on the floor. Crying, fell asleep. And in my dream, my father came to me, who had just died. I dreamed about my father. And my father said, Carrie, right down here, is where our property line ends and their property line begins. It's right here. And I think I was little at the time. I wasn't grown, I was little. And he said, the property line is right here. They can't take the house because there's the property line. So the next morning I'm waking up, I'm like, wait a second. If there is, I don't know if there is, it doesn't say on the deed, where is it? This property line that could save this house. So with no money, Here's another action, another move differently, move. I said, I have no money. My cousin calls me and says, oh, and I tell him the story. He says, you need a lawyer. I said, I don't have any money. So what you do, there's lawyers, and just go in there and talk. I go into town, I go to this, I see the wall sign, I walk in with no money in my pocket, except this feeling of absolute certainty. Either I'm going to do this, or I'm going to die, or they'll take everything. So I walk in with no money. I walk in to this lawyer. You know how sometimes they give you a consultation fee for free? Sometimes. So happened, he said, oh, you live in New York? Yes. He said, I have a son in New York. We did a little barter. You help my son, I'll help you here. So then I had a lawyer with no money in my pocket. I said, ooh, this is working. So after that, a friend of mine calls and says, let's go to a party. Second night, let's go to a party. So I don't want to go to a party. Can't go to a party. I'm going through this trauma. I'm not going to a party. I said, come on, Carrie, just go to a party. You'll take their mind off. I go to this party and that I didn't want to be at, and I'm standing around at this party, and somebody comes over to this gentleman comes over to me and says, are you Carrie Ruff? I said, yes. Do you live at so-and-so and so on Mill Road? Yes. I did the survey 50 years ago for your father. Your father, Earl Ruff? Yes. He just died just a couple days ago. I did a survey. I said, do you happen to have I should say, proof that I own the land that they're trying to take away from me? He said, I don't have, but my son, who's taken over this company, does. I went to him the next morning, 8 o'clock in the morning. I had no money and got the deed that said that I own that property. So after all of this, in about 2 months, I said, what did I do differently? I've been to seminars. What did I do differently that took me from these 8 devastating crises to now 2 or 3 months later, I'm living in my home. My now ex called me, said, well, come home. I go to work on Wall Street. I said, how did I do that? What happened? And it was these 3 things. This is what I want you to do with those checks. With physical communication technology. 1, we talked about this earlier. Write down 2 goals. I'm sorry. Turn it over on the pay to the order of side. On that page, anywhere on that check, write those 2 goals. You've been writing 10 goals, I think Dr. Mitchell had. I want you to write 2 of your most important goals. Write 2 of your most important goals. You know what they are. It should be pretty quick, right? Turn on the back. First thing, write down your goals. Write down everything that you choose. Put that in. That'd be number 1. Write down everything. This is physical communication. The second thing I want you to write there is you have to do it over and over and over and over again. You have to do whatever it is that Dr. Mitchell, all his techniques, strategies, you've got to pick one or two to do it over and over and over again. And here's the key. When I said, when I was lying on that floor and crying and yelling and screaming, I did it with energy. I did it with energy. You have to do it over and over and over and over again with energy every day. Here is the tip that hardly anybody talks about. It wasn't until I got mad, angry, and said, this is it. A feeling of absolute certainty. Either do something, help me, or take me out. This or this. Without that, it's just mental. I already said something on masturbating. It's just mental. We do these for years. So 2 is the energy. 3 is what things are you doing specifically? If it's meditation every morning, if it's EFT every morning, you've got to decide with a feeling, with an energy. This is what I choose to do every single morning. Not 3 times a week, not once a week, every morning. On 1 or 2, not a whole bunch. 1 or 2. If you've got to decide, the word decide, I found out the word decide means you cut off from everything else. There's no turning back. This is it. You've got to decide that emotionally. And how do you get the emotion? You've got to move with energy. Over and over and over again. How many agree with me? Say aye.
Aye.
Ooh, listen to that energy. Not just once in January, and maybe think about what was that workshop on goal setting? Every single day. Next time you see Dr. Mitchell, say, Dr. Mitchell, yep, it's happened because I did it every single day since January, whatever today is. 9th. So by Wednesday, you're saying I've done it 3 or 4 times. 1 or 2 physical communication tools. 1 or 2. Hopefully today, hopefully, because you will have circled. Everybody keeps trying to pass me big pieces of paper so I can take notes. I need small note paper because I'm looking for what can I do every single day physically that's going to give me this feeling of absolute certainty. Because I remember how it was, feeling absolute certain when I was broke, busted, devastated. The only way I got out was with energy. It's almost like getting mad. You get so joyful that it comes faster, and more of it. If you're writing, you're right. Every day, you're right. You want that money? Visualization every single morning with energy. do those 3 things, or that should say that one thing, it comes. Whatever it is you choose. Whatever those 2 things you wrote down on the pay to the order of check. Now here's what I want you to do with this check. Which statistics say that only 10% of you will do this. That's okay, I know that. Only 10% of you will do it. Take the check and put it up in your bathroom or in your kitchen, and it'll be up there all year, or maybe more. But put it up so you can see it. Maybe less. Because my riches came. Took me a while. I did it once. I said if I did it once, I could do it again. So it took a while. So put it up in your bathroom or in your kitchen. And you can see it every single morning, every single day. Go in that refrigerator, because you're going to go to that refrigerator every single day. But the key, and I'm going to leave you with this, the key is that feeling of absolute certainty. You get that feeling by moving differently, by moving with some energy. You're sitting here very passive. You're only going to get, so, Dr. Mitchell has us move and stand up. But research says you only get 10% of that. You only remember 10%. In a month's time, you're going to remember 10%. You write things down physically with some energy, you'll remember 30 to 40%. When we were talking earlier, I was going, oh, 30 or 40%. That's why that book is so good. 30 or 40%. You move with energy, you yell back to him, oh, you have a question? With some energy, you retain 85 to 90% of what you learn, what you get, with energy. Please, do it. It's fun, and my life has changed because of that one tool, that one technique. Thank you very much.
Thank you.